Yes guys, Jess here, back with another video. You read the title. It is happening right now. We're getting that massive push in the market. You can see that we've been punching higher highs and higher lows over there. Bitcoin has been trending massively upwards. We've been calling it all the way from the 89.6k level over there. We were initially calling for a bounce, a flush, then a continuation, and that's exactly what we're getting right now. You can see on the right hand side we have the S&P, and then we have the Nasdaq below it, then we have Bitcoin on the left hand side, and then we have Ethereum below it as well. And you can see that we're breaking out on all risk assets right now. Things are looking really good. You can see Bitcoin's actually broken out of this consolidation pattern. You have your S&P about to do it right now. You have your Nasdaq about to break out. So we need to be seeing the candle closes for the day. We need to be seeing confirmation above our key trends over here, and that would actually be likely for us to actually have continuation in towards Trump's inauguration. So before we actually go parabolic, we have to actually clear our resistance levels right now. So you can see we're at this 102k resistance, and it looks like we may be confirming above it, but we need to see candle closes. And if we have a look in towards the liquidity, you can see we have a lot of liquidity piling up on our top side over there in towards 105k. So make sure to be watching to the end. I have a lot of charts prepared for you guys. So before we get straight into the analysis, let's try smash up this like button. Let's try get above 25 likes. That would be absolutely amazing, guys. Drop a comment down below for anything that you need me to answer throughout the video. And yeah, let's get straight away into this banger. Bow. So yes guys, you can see that we've been bouncing straight away from this orange box over here that I've been drawing with the horizontal line, saying that any price action, any dips in towards this region is going to be a bad dip opportunity for me, since we had to fill this liquidity rig and actually shake out all the downside liquidity we were seeing on the heat maps all the way down there. Now we're seeing a little bit of liquidity actually start to pile up from shorts. We actually saw some liquidity yesterday in towards 100k level, and that's been absolutely smashed through. So you can see over here that I alerted you guys as soon as that happened, literally at 1 a.m. for me in the morning over there. We had that massive short squeeze and we broke through all the resistance levels in and around the 100k mark. So you can see now that if we confirm price action here, so at least 3 to 4 4-hour candles for me, I think that it's likely we can actually go in towards our 108k all-time highs before we get any severe rejections. But again, I do think that this is resistance for me and it's not confirmed, so we can definitely come in towards 99,500 and even 96,500 over there and towards 95,500. That is an interesting level to be watching. These are decent higher low opportunities where I'm considering this a lower high, then I'll consider that's your lower low. This is your higher high for me, and then I'll be looking for any higher lows to be buying. So again, we're not out of the woods just yet. We still have some resistance levels, because once we pass that 108k mark, in my opinion, I do think that we go parabolic. So again, we just need to be watching this resistance level here in and around 102.2. If we actually confirm acceptance just below it and we hover here and we're starting to form some shorter time frames, lower highs, I do think it is likely we can go and grab some support, some late long liquidity before actually bouncing a lot higher. But again, I'm still bullish. I've been calling the pump all the way down from when we were going in towards that 80k region. People were calling for the CME gap. However, I was saying it's not likely. I think that all the downside liquidity resides in and around the 89k to 90k region. So for me, I was still bullish and I was actually buying in that region. And this was a chart that I was showing you guys. I was showing you guys the CME chart, and I named it scenario 1 and 2. Scenario 2 being the more obvious one. You had your 21-week exponential moving average. You had your lucid SAR, your stop and reversal indicator actually creeping up as well. We had the 0.5 and 382 Fibonacci retracement level over there. We have a fair value gap on our weekly time frame, and our daily time frame, I'm pretty sure, in and around that level. So let's just have a look. You can see, yes. So the weekly time frame, there's a fair value gap in and around that region over there. And it was just a very obvious buy the dip, higher low opportunity over there that was a bit too obvious. And judging by the liquidations, due to the most liquidity being in and around the 90k region and the 89k region, I said it's likely that's where we're going to be seeing a short-term bottom over there. I do expect us to play out scenario 1 where we actually bounce, set new highs before maybe we can return in towards that 77k region on any dips in this bull market. So hopefully you guys have been subscribed. Hopefully, if you did agree with my opinion, you've been benefiting and you're floating in massive profits right now, because that's what most of my subscribers are literally feeling right now. They're in massive profits. So that's really good. Now we know in about 3 days or so we have our Trump inauguration, and I talked about these two scenarios playing out. So the sell the news over there, or we have the buy the news. Now, when we were crashing, I was telling you guys I was still bullish. This was another chart that I was looking at for us to go higher, and you can see over here that we're exactly bouncing from that level, and we're playing out the lot plans to perfection. Now, it's either that I think we can pump in towards 105, grab all that liquidity and potentially see a higher low form, and then that's where we have the sell the news on the 20th, and then next week actually starts red. Trump's inauguration may be a nothing burger initially. It will be very bullish, but we may see some late longs opening up, and that's why I do think that liquidity grab is definitely warranted, and it may be likely. So as you can see on this chart over here for the higher time frames, I do think that we do have a buy the news scenario actually potentially playing out, because you can see initially in the ETF news all the way back in September 2023, we first had the ETF scenario, the ETF news, the prospect of having a Bitcoin ETF where institutions can get into Bitcoin, which was super bullish news, actually surfaced. And that's where we had a pump after we had a range before that, and your smart money, your whales were actually accumulating. Then we formed another range in towards the ETF actually going live. And that's where we had the fake tweet from Gary Gensler. There was lots of wicks. Topside liquidity got grabbed, downside liquidity got grabbed. And then that's essentially what helped us have a more healthy environment. We can go in towards the pump. And you can see now, this time around in our first range, it was the prospect of Donald Trump being elected. And you can see that topside liquidity got grabbed, and downside liquidity especially got grabbed over there as we tested that 49, 48K region. After reclaiming it again, that's where we got closer in towards the election date, and Donald Trump actually won. So that was really bullish, and we had that follow through. So right now we're having the same second range where he might actually come in towards the inauguration and successfully go in. The probability is very high. It's basically guaranteed from now. I don't think there's anything that can come up to jeopardize that. So again, I do think that it's likely we can go a lot higher once that actually goes live, and once he actually starts setting some rules and regulations to actually help the crypto industry especially. We know that he's been accumulating in the World Liberty wallet, so that's looking really good. And I do think that it's likely we can see this follow through and buy the news actually play out on the longer term. I did mention too that the top side and downside liquidity was grabbed in the second range, and this time too we first of all had nice news in towards that FOMC meeting in December. Things were looking good. We were expecting rate cuts, and then Jerome Powell drops a bomb on us, and it wasn't even enough. He still had to make comments on Bitcoin, which caused it to come down a lot. And recently, right now, we had our economic news that caused us to actually come down. So specifically, the NFP was the final nail in the coffin, where we actually had that liquidity grab, which was actually very obvious in hindsight now. And I've actually been calling for it. So again, make sure to be subscribing. But you can see that after we grabbed it, we didn't even close below that 90K region. Matter of fact, we've never even closed in that 90K range over there. The highest was about 93.6, I believe. So more on that later. But you can see that the environment now is actually very healthy, just like the second range we had previously in January 2024, which lines up to now because we're near the end of January in 2025, and it's looking very similar sentiment wise, and also it's looking very similar when it comes to talking about the environment. And why I say that is because if you have a look at the funding rate heat map, you can see over here that we're extremely low in funding and even negative, which shows that people are actually short. There's majority actually adding to their shorts as they think we may come down. And we know by the statistics that if you go on a retail exchange, the majority actually tends to be wrong. So you can see that the funding rates are really healthy. It's looking really good. And if we go in towards the liquidation heat map again, you can see that we have the liquidity actually piling up on the top side. So a spike in towards that level, in towards 103.4 and in towards 105K is definitely possible. But again, I will not mind if we come all the way down in towards 95,500, because that would actually lead to all the downside liquidity being grabbed one more time before we actually go higher. And you can see there's not much liquidity below 95K. There's very little liquidity. So once we sweep the downside liquidity finally and actually have all the downside liquidity being swept, there's only one direction we're likely to be going, and I think that's upwards. So again, majority is on the top side in the 24-hour, and if we go into the 2 week to get a more holistic view over there, we have majority of the liquidity actually above us over there in and around the 103K level in towards 105K, and below us there's not much liquidity until we get to that 95K region, and then below that, that's the invalidation below that 88K wick over there. That's where potentially we're going a lot lower. But again, I think that is very unlikely. The trend is your friend to the end of the trend. You can see we're having higher highs, higher lows. So I will not fade the trend. Statistics point to you trading with the trend to be more right than wrong. So again, it's likely that we can just see continuation, whether we get a higher low forming, then a push, or the push straight away. That is the same point. We're still likely to be going a lot higher in my opinion. So if you're enjoying the video and you want to be trading yourself, make sure to click that first link down below. And when you click that first link down below, it's going to take you to this page over here, which is the page for Blofin. Now, Blofin are offering to my community a massive sign-up bonus of 5,000 US dollars. So make sure to be taking advantage of that. And I definitely do recommend Blofin. They're one of the best exchanges out there. They're actually growing really quickly due to them having extremely low maker fees. They also have fire blocks, which is an amazing feature where they have a third-party custodian to make sure that your funds are more secure. So definitely be signing up for Blofin if you want to be taking advantage of some of the opportunities I've been talking about and you agree with my opinion. And make sure to be checking if it's available in your country, definitely. And if it's available in your country, it's an amazing exchange with no KYC. So it's easy to sign up and be trading straight away. But yeah, definitely check if it's available in your country. Now, for whatever reason, if you don't want to use Blofin, maybe you want to go for an even bigger deposit bonus, you can click the second link down below for KCEX, which they offer a massive $9,000 in bonuses. So when you click that second link down below, it will take you to this page over here for KCEX, and you can see they have 0 fees for trading as well. And they also have 0 withdrawal fees actually for all change, which is absolutely amazing. And if you want to be getting an instant $20 bonus as well, you can actually sign up for the third link down below for MEXC over here. So when you deposit $100, they're going to top it up and give you $200 in trading bonuses over there. And when you click that third link down below, it will take you to this page over here. And you can see the MEXC are one of the best exchanges too. They've been around for a long time. They're really reliable. And of course, they have a lot of coins that you can't access on other exchanges, as they list the coins first all the time. So if you like your altcoins, you like these really low fees, and you want to be taking advantage of that $20 bonus you get when you deposit $100, I definitely recommend you use that third link down below for MEXC. So for that longer time frame, our cup and handle fractal is exactly playing out. I've been calling this macro high low for a very long time on the channel, so watch any video previously to get more on that. Today I'm gonna not cover it as much, but you can see our range. I tweeted on Twitter actually that this weekly close is going to be very interesting. You can see that we're actually putting in a sort of bullish engulfing after having a massive liquidity sweep. This candle was looking horrible in one of my videos when we had the crash. So it was a week from today. So watch that video. You will see the candle was literally red. It was not looking good. And I said any closes below that red line, I think that definitely we may be in for a very brutal rejection, and we're maybe filling this fair value gap. We may be filling the CME gap before we actually go higher. But I did mention again, I am still staying bullish. We just grabbed the majority of the liquidity. So if we see a candle that closes above this level, which was 92,500 for me, I am going fully long. I am very bullish, and that's exactly what we've been seeing. We are seeing a bullish engulfing candle potentially, and we have that head and shoulders that a lot of bears have been talking about, and the invalidation is literally a candle close on the daily time frame above this level here. So this is the new line to be paying attention to, guys. This is where the bears are completely invalidated. It is at 102k over there, so 102k, and I'll actually put a horizontal ray so it's easier for you guys to see, and I would actually put that in red, and yeah, that's where the bear case is invalidated. So we'll review that next video. If we close below it, we need to wait for a higher low, and then we need to wait for continuation. But if we actually close above it, I do think that we're going to be seeing candles going a lot higher in towards that 120k target taken from that cup and handle that I've actually drawn over here. You can see roughly it lines up at 120k, taking it from the base to the neckline. So yes, if we get that candle close above that 102.2k level approximately, that's just me rounding down, I do think that we can go massively parabolic in towards the inauguration, and then that's where we can actually have that choppy phase. So I said I wasn't going to speak about it, but why not? You can see that we had multiple flushes. We had a 3-drive scenario where we actually put in a local top. So I'm looking for something like that where you actually put in a high, potential second one, and then once you liquidate more shorts and you have that third one, if we come below our previous low over there, I do think that that's a scenario where I'll be looking for an area to exit the market, and I'll be telling you guys that I do think a local top is in. But of course, that's got to line up with funding rates being extremely high, people being euphoric, and the normal signals that we see in a scenario where we have the local top, you know, your MVRV score, all of these different metrics that I'll be looking at. So again, for the longer term, we're in year 3 now in this cycle where we have our 4-year cycles, where you have your Bitcoin season in the first year after your USD cycle, where it's better to be in cash due to bear markets. Then we have year 2 where you have your large caps running, and year 3 now we're going to have our lower caps running. But again, this cycle has been a little bit different. So of course, this fractal, take it with a pinch of salt. I do year 3, the stronger altcoins will be running. But again, I don't think that we're going to be seeing a cycle where everything runs in year 3. I think you need to be selective and you need to be long in some strength. Of course, every coin would most likely move up in the longer time frames for this period, but there's going to be certain altcoins that are going to run a lot harder. So I'll be covering that in a later video. But for now, just bear this in mind that this is the year where you see your Bitcoin dominance typically top, and then you're going to see your ETH BTC come down. So if you want more on that, make sure to be following me on Twitter. I have a lot of charts that I've posted before about Bitcoin dominance and ETH BTC and Ethereum itself. So again, yes, this is the place to be finding me, guys. Twitter and my @ is the same as YouTube, 𝗚𝗥𝗔𝗦𝗦. So that'll be it for me, guys. Make sure to smash up that like button again, and of course, I have my Twitter here. So have a blessed rest of your day. Peace, guys. See ya. Bye bye.